You know, I've got to do a two-parter on this. I have to. It's bugging the shit out of me. I left off with a lot of white people don't know how poor the country is. Something else that I thought about as I got up to walk away. If 32% of the people on welfare are black, that means the rest of them are white. That means almost 70%. I'm sorry, I'm too much stupid. That means almost 70% are white. Sure, you could have some Latino and stuff like that, but even if it's 40%, that means there's more white people than black people. Doesn't it? Isn't that interesting? Want to know something I found out that's really funny? Do you know where the top welfare states are in the Union? Alabama, Arkansas, Mississippi, Tennessee, Louisiana. Those are the five. Those are the big five right there. They give out more money in social safety nets than any of the other countries. I mean, states. States in this country. Why is that, you think? It's because they're red states, guys. They are the reddest of red states. Cut social spending, cut everything. Their economy is shit. It's shit. So what happens? More people out of work, more people need help. People aren't just going to starve. That's the problem with a lot of this, is people go, well, I ought to work hard. Whoever works the hardest gets what they get. But you don't think about the bottom of the rung because, okay, here's a great metaphor. That is true. Whoever works hardest wins where? A foot race, right? If we got 5 people, all equally qualified, and they all run at the same speed, they will all cross the line at the same time. But we know that doesn't happen. That's not what's happening in our economy. So it can't just be effort. Maybe it's more like a real foot race, where some people are naturally faster than others. Maybe in our economy it's set up that if your skin color is lighter than mine, you get an extra 50 yards to start it off. Maybe it's set up that if your skin color is darker than my frame of my Oakleys or my hat here, then you kind of got to go back 10 extra yards before you can start running. And anyone who disagrees with me on this is not necessarily crazy. I would just like to hear your counter arguments. Because if you really believe that the only economic deciding factor is how hard you work, or education, because guess what? There is none correlation between IQ and wallet size. There's zero. All you need to do is look at Donald Trump to know this. Look at Donald Trump, look at Noam Chomsky, look at Sam Harris, look at the Koch brothers, and tell me which side of those the intelligence is on and which side the money's on. All right? It's obvious, people. And the biggest problem I've got in this country with systemic racism is these fucking cop shootings. You know, it's been going on for almost a year now. Every fucking week on the news, there's another unarmed black person shot. It's always a white cop, too. And I'm really sick of all my friends, like the same friend who brought up the black statistics. Well, if they weren't out there egging the cops on. The cops are not an occupying force. They do not have the right to attack you because you egged them on. I didn't have that right when I was in Iraq. I didn't have that right. What the fuck do you because you yell? I saw a video, a first-hand body shot of a cop literally shooting a guy in the face. In the face. For going to take off a seatbelt. He said he was reaching. So he shot him. Didn't say anything to him. Didn't say put down the gun. Didn't back away from the car, draw his own weapon for defense. No. Pulled gun out one hand. Boom. Shot dude in the head right next to car. It's not okay, folks. This country started out a very different path than we are on now. This country was started by a bunch of free thinkers who felt that since they were rich white landowners, they should run shit. So only rich white landowners could vote, had any say in anything. Women were property. Everyone else was obviously property. And the poor class was there to support us, the rich white landowners. And over the next 200 years, we stripped away at that bullshit as a people because they left those doors open for us. They left the doors open for change. And we walked through and we utilized them until we now have equal rights for all in this country. The only problem I have with, we don't have equal rights for all. We have it on paper, but we don't have it in practice. The drug war is basically the equivalent of new Jim Crow, considering that white people use drugs at a similar rate as black people, but are 50 times less likely to be arrested for it. Statistically, there are more white drug dealers than black drug dealers the higher up you go, because white people are less likely to be arrested when they're lower down the chain, so they can climb the fucking chain. As the black drug dealers get arrested, they take their business. I had people tell me that there are no drugs being sold in the suburbs. It's all sold out of the hood, and that white people drive to the hood to buy from black people. Now, this is a buddy of mine who's up there in years, who's never really been into drugs. He has no fucking clue what he's talking about. But these people believe this. They really think that, like, white people don't sell drugs. And let me tell you something. Most of the time when I've bought something that's slightly illicit, it's been a white dude in the suburbs. You know why? They know they're not getting caught. It's that simple. The only people who are selling drugs in the hood are the people who have no other recourse. And most of them, believe it or not, have a job. They got a full-time job at Mickey D's or fucking KFC, and they can't pay their bills with that shit because it's not a living wage. So what the fuck would you do? Comment down there, subscribe. I'm the Jester.